It blew me all the way across the ship to the other side of the ship. So I didn't know that my collarbone had been fractured.
Carl Clark may be 95 years old, but he remembers every detail of the night in 1945 when the naval destroyer, the USS Aaron Ward, was attacked. The Menlo Park man says he and the other black men on the World War II ship were only allowed to work as mess hall attendants, cooking meals and shining shoes. But when suicide planes slammed into the ship, he grabbed a fire hose. Clark says the 7 other men who were supposed to be doing the same thing he was died within minutes, leaving him to do the job alone.
And I stayed there till the last plane hit. I put out each one of those fires. I was instrumental in putting out every fire on that ship that day.
Clark says one fire came close to blowing up the ammunition room. He says 42 men died that day, and in the morning, the ship's captain sought him out.
And the captain kneeled down in front of me, and the captain says, Clark, I've been looking for you because I wanted to thank you for, I want to thank you for saving my ship.
But it was a very different time. Of the 300 men on the destroyer, just a handful were black, and Clark says they were treated worse than servants.
We were segregated. We were abused. We came last, no matter what.
So when it was time to fill out the battle report detailing what took place that night and documenting the contributions the sailors made, Clark's name was not mentioned. He wasn't surprised.
I didn't expect to get anything from it, and it didn't bother me either because I didn't. Because I didn't expect this, like what's happening now. I never thought this would happen.
A Bay Area professor heard his story and approached Congresswoman Anna Eshoo, who lobbied the Navy to finally have Clark's heroic deeds recognized. Admiral, one of the few sailors still living nearly 7 decades later, confirmed Clark's contribution on that deadly night.
It'll feel good to be getting this honor. I'll feel real good about that.
The Secretary of the Navy is expected to pin a medal on Clark in a ceremony at Moffett Field on January 17th. He says the military is doing something he thought he'd never witness, finally seeing a man's achievements, not just the color of his skin. In Menlo Park, Tracy Grant, NBC Bay Area News.
Carl Clark was and is a hero.
Carl Clark's certificate of release from the U.S. Navy listed the positions he served and the locations where he was based, but nowhere does it mention the actions he took on board the USS Aaron Ward during the Battle of Okinawa in May 1945. When kamikaze planes attacked, Clark fought to keep the fuel and fires from sinking the ship as his fellow sailors died all around him.
He put out raging fires, and he carried wounded shipmates to safety. Shipmates who routinely disrespected him with racial slurs.
But in the segregated Navy, no one acknowledged his contributions that fateful night. 95-year-old Clark has said for decades that he knew it was because he was black. Secretary of the U.S. Navy Ray Mabus traveled from the Pentagon to Moffett Field in Mountain View today to admit that was true.
But the country he helped defend did not honor his wartime actions. Today, we correct that omission. It is decades overdue, but that amount of time does not diminish what you did.
In front of a large audience, Mavis presented Clark with the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal with Combat, V for Valor, 66 years later.
I am overwhelmed. That's why I'm stumbling around here trying to say something, because I'm so overwhelmed. But I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart.
And it would be an honor if I could take a photo with you. If you let me take a picture with you.
Current members of the Navy marveled at what Clark was able to do despite being restricted to working in the mess hall.
To look at the things that he had to endure and to look at how easy that I have it today, well, it's because of him.
Those who know Clark says he knew he played an integral role in saving the ship, and to him, that's what really counted.
Really proud. Yeah, that smile is worth 1,000 words.
Mavis says other servicemen and women out there who were overlooked because of their race or ethnicity need to come forward so the U.S. military can right many of its wrongs. In Mountain View, Tracy Grant, NBC Bay Area News.